everybody, it's Jordan, and today I'll be talking about the books that I want to prioritize in 2025. So I like doing this list every year to pick out books that I want to prioritize each year, and of course next year is going to be a unique year because I'm going to be a new mom in January, so I don't know how many books I'm going to be reading for that time and the first few months after the baby comes, so I'm just want to pick out books that I think I want to pick up sooner than later, but I know that with these videos I always try my best to prioritize those books. If I don't get to them, that's okay. At least I tried. But yeah, it was really hard to narrow down some books, but I was able to narrow down to 10 books for this video. So let's talk about the books I want to prioritize in 2025. So the first book that I want to prioritize in 2025 is Heartless Hunter by Kristen Ciccarelli. I'm sorry if I butchered the author's name, but all I know about it, has been compared to Serpent and Dove, which I love, and I know that it really caught my eye for that reason. Well, I know I got this from a book box, so of course it grabbed my interest, but I just know that this is also about a witch and a witch hunter, but not in a arranged marriage like in Serpent and Dove. But I know that I want to prioritize this book because I know the sequel is coming out next year, and I want to pick this up and hopefully end up enjoying it so I can try to get the Owl Crate edition of the sequel, since I got the Owl Crate edition of the first book. So yeah, and plus I really like the Owl Crate edition of this book anyway, but I do want to try to prioritize this for next year. Next book that I want to prioritize for 2025 is Kill Her Twice by Stacey Lee. Oh my gosh, why did I just butcher the author's name? And she's the same author as Luck of the Titanic, which I really enjoyed. And this one is like a murder mystery that takes place in 1930s Hollywood, and that's all I know about it. And I have not read little to none historical fictions for 2024, so I want to try at least pick one historical fiction for the next year, and I know that I enjoyed her previous books, so I do hope to prioritize this, especially when it's about a murder mystery in the 1930s in Hollywood. So yeah, like I said, I read a book from this author before and really enjoy it, so I do want to make this as a priority for next year. And the next book that I want to prioritize for next year is Sometime in Summer by Christina Leno. This is the same author as Horrid, which I've read a few years ago and really enjoyed, and I want to read more books by her, but this one is her contemporary book about a girl who believes in luck, like she always has bad luck, like she thinks that her bad luck caused her to lose a friend, or her parents got divorced, etc., and then her and her mom ends up spending the summer in a town in New England, and that's all I know about it. And it just grabbed my interest because I read a book from a previous author, so I thought I would want to prioritize this. Hopefully I'll read this in the summertime because I think it will be perfect to read in the summertime. So, but yeah, I do want to prioritize this, especially when it's from an author that I've read before, just like the previous book that I just talked about. And the next book that I want to prioritize for 2025 is The Murder of Roger Ackroyd by Agatha Christie. I have not read a lot of Agatha Christie books lately. I know that I really enjoyed her books, and I know I want to get more books, but I have so many of her books on my TBR that I just don't want to buy anymore unless I have like one left, and I need to get more Agatha Christie books. But I do really enjoy her books, and I'm not going to say what the synopsis of this book just because I like going to a lot of mystery books blind. So yeah, I just know that I enjoyed her books, but I just haven't read a lot of them, so that's why I want to prioritize at least one of her books for the next year. And the next book that I want to prioritize for 2025 is Bridge of Souls by V.E. Schwab. This is her middle grade book, and this is the final book of the Cassidy Blake series. If you haven't read the first book's about a girl whose parents are like ghost hunters, and they travel around, and she ends up going to various places with her parents, and I love this series so much, and I just really sad that I have not been reading this for the past few Halloweens. I've read the first two books and around Halloween time, and it was a perfect timing, but I just have not picked this up, and I really want to prioritize that. If I have to read this outside of Halloween, unlike when I read the first two books in the series, then so be it. So yeah, at least I have one sequel to prioritize on my TBR for 2025. And the next book that I want to prioritize in 2025 is The Drowned Woods by Emily Lloyd-Jones, and I don't know much about this. I know this is supposed to take the same world as The Bone Houses, which I've read a few years ago and enjoyed, and I think the third book just came out in 2024, and I still haven't gotten to this one yet, and I don't know much about this, but I know that I enjoyed The Bone Houses so much that I want to read this one, and yeah, I do want to prioritize this, especially when I read a book previous by this author, and I do hope to enjoy it as much as the first book. And the next book that I want to prioritize in 2025 is Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. I'm sorry if I butchered the author's name. I know this is a fantasy romance that has been hyped on BookTube for the past few years, and I don't know much about this other than it's about a girl who works for the Bargainer, and she wears bead bracelet with black beads, and I don't remember, but I know that many people from BookTube that I've watched from before end up really enjoying this series, and I know she also wrote other fantasy romance series, so I do want to give this a try because I know this is like a dark fantasy romance from what I've heard, but I do want to prioritize this just because it's so hyped on BookTube, and plus I'm trying to get into fantasy romance since I enjoyed some of them that I've read, whether it's adult or young adult. So yeah, I do want to give this a try and see if I'll read more books from this series and read more books from this author. And the next book that I want to prioritize in 2025 is The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. This is another hyped book that's been hyped on BookTube for the longest time, and I just know that many people either love it or don't like it, and all I know about it is about a circus that only appears at night, and there's a star-crossed lovers, if I remember correctly, and this has been my TBR for the longest time, and I do want to prioritize this, and I do hope to enjoy this just so I would read. I know she published another book, The Star of the Sea, so I do want to read this before The Star of the Sea, and I know I've heard mixed things about that one as well, but I do want to give this a try just because it's been hyped on BookTube for a long time, and it's been on my TBR for the longest time. And the next book that I want to prioritize in 2025 is An Enchanting Case of Spirits by Melissa Holtz, and I haven't heard anybody talk about this on BookTube, but all I know about it is about a woman who just recently lost her husband, and she's trying to balance a life as a single mom, and she investigates ghosts or help a detective investigate ghosts or something like that. I'm not quite sure, but I know that, like I said, it's a book that I haven't heard anybody talk about, but I know it grabbed my interest after I got this at Half Price Books a few months ago, and I do want to give this a try, and plus I really like the cover, and this is apparently a debut author, so I want to give this a try for that reason, and plus, like I said, nobody talked about it in BookTube, so I want to give this book a try for that reason. And the last book that I want to prioritize for 2025 is Peter and Starcatchers by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson, and this is another book that has been on my TBR for a very long time. It's supposed to be like a Peter Pan retelling, but it's like a prequel to the Peter Pan story, and I know this caught my eye when I was a kid and I never got a chance to read it, so I did read the first chapter of it a while ago when I did a try a chapter book tag, and I know that it's been grabbing my interest, so, and I do want to know what happens after the first chapter, so yeah, this is definitely one of the books I want to prioritize because I know there's 3 other books in the series, and I do probably want to try to get all of the books in the series so I can binge the series. I don't know, it depends on how I feel about the first book, but I do want to give this a try just because it's a Peter Pan retelling. If you guys haven't followed me, if you guys are new to this channel, you know, I love Peter Pan, so yeah, I always try to gravitate towards Peter Pan retellings in general, so yeah, I do want to prioritize this for 2025. So that's all for all the books I want to read in 2025. If you enjoy this video, give me a thumbs up and comment down below what books that you want to prioritize for 2025 because I would like to know. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button, click the bell icon so you'll be notified when I post new videos. Also, you can follow me on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Goodreads, which all links will be down below for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye!